Hello, this is I Bring It Every Day, and my name is Kelly. And today's Motivation Monday talk is about growth. So, what does it mean to grow? Or what is growth? And one of the things, so the word grow is a verb and it means undergoing a natural development by increasing in size, changing physically, or progressing to maturity, which I like. Yes, and that's sort of what we're really focusing on today. And then another definition or another, building on that definition is becoming larger and greater over a period of time. I like that one. Yeah, pretty cool. So now let's take a look. And what are some examples, I guess, of growth? Let's think about it. So first, last week we talked about believing in yourself, and let's we're going to build on that in just a moment. Now let's go to the first motivational quote. And this is by Ziglar, who was a motivational speaker. And what he said was, what you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. So let's break this down just a little bit. So it's interesting. So he's saying that achieving your goals is not as important as the steps and the things that you go through. And actually, when you think about it, it's all the whole process, is really what he's talking about. Let's just say, you're starting out, maybe you're trying to learn a new skill or something like that. And you're going to get it eventually, over time you're going to get from point A to point B, and it may take a period of time. And that's okay because you have to be patient, but you always have to take the steps to go through a process to go from point A to point B. And you don't grow overnight. There's usually some steps that are involved. And like I always say, we always say try to make a plan, try to take a few steps, note, where you're successful and where you're not successful, then you need to pivot some in some direction or in another direction, and then keep going and keep trying new things until you're successful. And really that whole process is you're growing in that whole process. So that's pretty cool. All right, so let's go to the next one. And like I said, we talked about this in previous weeks. You always have to start with a plan. First, you have a goal, you start with a plan, and then you work your steps in the plan. And then, how do you grow? How do you grow? And I want you all to think about this. How do you grow? So, like I said, you got to work those steps. You got to work those steps. You got to make a few plans. It's not important that you change overnight, but just little tweaks in your schedule, a little practice, things like that can move you forward. Now, let's bring it all together. And this is building on a little bit from last week. And this is a quote from Gail Devers, who was a track star, and she was really good at the hurdles, as I recall. This brings together the last few weeks on Motivation Monday. So here it goes. She said, keep your dreams alive. Understand to achieve anything requires faith and belief in yourself, vision, hard work, determination, and dedication. Remember, all things are possible for those who believe. So, like I said, a few weeks ago, we talked about you got to believe in yourself. That's the first step. The second step is you got to put together a plan. And Gail Devers really breaks it down in this one quote here. And you have to remember that you have to have faith or the belief in yourself. You have to make a vision or a plan. You have to work hard. You have to work hard. And it's going to, it may take you time to execute all the things that you want to do. And you may have to make changes along the way, but that's the way it goes. Determination and dedication, you have to be you have to be dedicated, you have to persevere, And even when things aren't going well, you just have to keep going. So there it is. And she says, all things are possible for those who believe. I like it. And then also, if you remember, we talked about Mary Kay Ash. She said the same thing. You got to believe in yourself. So it seems like that is really the first step. But the second step is to, grow and then keep growing. Yes. All right. So let me know what you think. And I think all these motivational speakers, it seems like it's all kind of coming together. And people who are pretty successful all seem to have a certain little path that they're going that I think we can all learn from. So I challenge everybody, in the I Bring It Everyday channel to bring it this week and, think about what Gail Devers said and think about Zig Ziglar and any of the other quotations from the people that we talked about who were fairly successful. So I want to just say thank you. Thank you to all the subscribers. Especially thank you to the members for, financially supporting the channel. It really helps out. And also, just, showing your faith in me. I'm very humbled, by people who are showing faith in me. Also, I would like to say, thank you for hanging out in terms of the Motivation Monday or Monday Motivation. I'm hoping that it helps people out along the way. And please, leave a comment and let me know what you think about, what we've talked about, I guess, over the last 2 years now, on YouTube. And also, one final thing that I just want to say is I want to just say, thank you to Ashley Vincent and Susan Vincent, who have supported the channel thus far in my YouTube journey. Ashley has left us, and I'm very sad, but it's one of those things, I guess. It's those life lessons, or we all. I don't know. It's like they say the circle of life. It's kind of interesting. And as you get older, you think about all these things. You go, oh man, we're all gonna, have to really think about, where we're gonna be in life. And I really hope that this will help everybody out. But I just want to give a special thanks, to the Vincents for helping out this channel. And I will say peace and love. Bring it this week and let me know if you've accomplished anything great. Thank you so much. Peace and love. And we'll see you soon. Bye bye.